Go live anyway. Yeah, I think when I set these live videos, I go on and I kind of start it, the process before I need to go live. But yeah, that then says, oh, he's going to go live at, I don't know, 5:24. But no, that's only when I've just started setting things up. So sorry if you've been waiting, expecting me on here for like the last 6 minutes or something. I did want to keep it to 5:30, but yeah. That's how it works. Len, yeah, I absolutely love that thumbnail for this video. Holding the cute thief up. He didn't look stoked, but he's loving it. He's just down to the side of me here. By the way, I have bought myself from IKEA a really sweet phone holder and light setup. I would show you, but my desk is a mess. This is what it's like without it. This is what it's like with it. I think it's really cool. I can dim it, so I can go down like that. I can go lighter. I can change the warmth. So yeah, really stoked on that. Pretty handy for this kind of stuff. And actually, the other thing I was going to do is, this is weird. I've got my computer monitor behind me. I'm actually watching myself live on my own computer. Does mean I can see your questions a lot easier. So, better without the light. Are you sure? Let's try it again. Better without the light? I'm not so sure. What do you guys reckon? What if I just dim it a little bit? Is it a bit overpowering? Magically eye bags disappear. What, with or without it? Where is the cat? Okay, he's been called upon already. Cat is here. Hello. He looks so angry in the thumbnail, but he's such a stoked, chilled little guy. What do you reckon? So yeah, how is everyone? By the way, I haven't actually officially started or done an intro to this video yet. Welcome to my live chat. Hope you are all well. As you may have seen in the description of this video, I did try to make a proper vlog this week, but I've been adulting. There's been house renovations going on. I mean, I've got excuses. It sounds so bad, but yeah, house renovations, weather, Scotland in winter, not the best for street trials. I did try and film this week. I went to Troon because I've ridden there before. It was too windy. And then I went out riding yesterday and I actually went to one spot. I tried to see how many tricks I could do in one spot. And I only had a couple of hours before it went dark. And I ended up spending about an hour trying to do this one trick, which involved a foot jam tail whip, which I'm not very good at. So I pretty much wasted my entire video time just trying this one trick. I got frustrated and I ended up, I just scrapped it. I wasn't going to be happy with the end result. So we have a live video instead. I hope that's okay with you guys. I actually quite enjoy doing the live videos. I hope you guys enjoy joining in on them. I must apologise because I don't actually give much notice of these videos either. So if you're watching this after the case and you missed it, because I get a few messages from people who do miss these, I do want to do more regular live videos in the future, which I will either schedule to be always on a certain day and time, or I'll try harder to let you guys know what's going on. So we've done the intro. Hope everyone is well. Now, comments are coming in already. Thanks for joining in. I've got my computer screen behind me, so if you see me looking away, I'm looking at your comments here. So, let's see, what are people saying? I really could do with a cup of tea. I've just been doing loads of housework just now. I'm so thirsty. I'm absolutely knackered. So I've dimmed the light a little bit. Shall I dim it a little bit more? How about that? What do you reckon? Liam Love, am I subscribed to the Schwalp mountain bike channel? No, I'm not. I've never heard of them. I'll probably have to go check them out. Are they good? I'm sure they are if you're recommending them. Yeah, people saying light bulb chat. People saying about the light bulb. Yeah, I've dimmed it a little bit. Hopefully that's okay now. It's all a learning process. I'm really stoked on it though, so I'm hoping it's not just been a waste of money and people prefer it without it. That would suck. Ashford Mountain Bike says their cats say hi, so hi to your cats as well. I bet they're cute. Old Man Gaming has got a project I might be interested in. I'm curious. You have my attention. Let me know what that is, either on here or send me a message. on Instagram or Facebook. That's where I mostly see messages. Or if you do want to email me, Ali at Ali Clarkson is the place to do that. Hello from Greece. Hello, Greece. Hope you're having better weather than we're having here. Although today wasn't actually a bad day, but I had to stay in because we had someone coming to look at a fireplace. Oh, that's so boring, housework stuff. I never want to look at another paintbrush in my life again. Most famous cat on YouTube. I think Henri Le Chat Noir, RIP, would say different, and a few other cats as well. Maybe some fat bike trials in the snow. Well, you're going to be stoked on something the Cute Thief picked up for me just the other day. So I'm not going to spoil it too much, but yeah, it's going to be fun. The Fat Thief. Actually, he's a bit fat at the minute. The Cute Thief, he has actually been really busy. He's got me some really seriously cool bikes on the go. So just need him to get a few finishing touches. Then we've got some really cool videos coming for you guys, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, fat bike. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. A non-bike question by Palpitis. Oh, I can't say your name. I'm really sorry. But the question is, do I play any instrument, or maybe do I want to play one? No, I don't. I do have a guitar over here. Oh my word, I do have a guitar. Oh no, scared Cute Thief. I haven't played this for a while, so check out how in tune this is. I am not even going to embarrass myself with that. I cannot play the guitar at all. I am absolutely hopeless at pretty much any instrument, which is a shame because I love music. And actually, probably one of my biggest regrets is not learning how to play in an instrument. Maybe I would have played drums, but oh my god, drums seem like the most tedious thing to cart about the place and practice with. So maybe when I stop riding, after riding, that's maybe when I pick up a musical instrument or something. Jane, who is just in the other room, she's a bit shy for these videos. She can play guitar. She used to be in a death metal band. She's actually really good, so she'll hate that I've been saying that, but yeah, she's really good at guitar. She hasn't played for a while, but she's good. She's good. Let's see, what comments do we have? Again, thanks so much for joining me. Short notice live video here. I do enjoy these though. Where's the cat gone? Oh, he's run off. He didn't like the guitar. He knew what my playing's like, so he scarpered. Hopefully he'll come back. Dunk Shaw, how's it going, dude? Glad you can join in the live videos. You need to do some live videos yourself, dude. But yeah, we do need to ride soon. I need to come up to Inverness and hang out with you guys, especially now that I've seen you guys have got an indoor setup. I am so jealous, so jealous. Guri Mandal, where is my Inspired? He's missed it. Well, I did ride it in last week's video. The street, I don't tend to ride in the wet or the dark, so winter in Scotland is usually one or the other or both. So yeah, it's actually quite hard for me personally to ride street trials in winter in Scotland. If it wasn't absolute madness at the minute, I would love to just take my bike and go somewhere warm and sunny. Maybe once all the madness calms down, I will do that. I know Duncan usually does that, and I think that's a really smart thing to do. Comments. I was going to have a cup of tea while I was doing this, but we ran out of milk. Maybe see if Jane will get me a cup of tea. Maybe she's watching this in the other room. Jane, can I have a cup of tea, please? Let's see here. Eric, he's from the North Shore Mountains of Vancouver, British Columbia. Oh man, I'm so jealous. On my bucket list of places to go. Yeah, I might have to come and crash on your couch one day or something, Eric. That would be awesome. Just invite myself over. Thorfinn, enjoying your new bike. So pleased to see you out riding it. It was awesome to build it, so yeah, stoked to see you out riding that. It's awesome. Comments here. If I go quiet, by the way, guys, it's because I'm reading your comments back here. I'm just going to see if there are any questions. Len, the cat didn't want to hold up for YouTube repeatedly. He bailed. Maybe he's actually really chilled. I've never known a cat that loves to be held as much as he does. He'll literally be held until my arms get tired. So maybe the way I held him then wasn't his most preferred way to be held, but yeah, he's stoked being held. Held. How many times can I say that? Matthew Harris is loving the content. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying it, even at the minute it is, yeah, a little bit difficult. I do have some really cool, fun plans, like I said, about these bike builds. Gonna be fun. Have I ever been to Finland? By Tommy S. No, I've been to Sweden and Norway, but I've never been to Finland. I watched the Hydraulic Press channel, who are from Finland, and it looks beautiful from what I've seen. Would love to go there one day. It looks really cool. Serge Leighton, hope I said your name right there. What do I think of Joachim Lundgren? I struggle with these names. Being my inspired teammate. Stoked. He's one of my favourite riders to watch at the minute. Even before he got on Street Trials bike, he was my favourite competition rider to watch, just because he can go so massive. I've never seen anyone gap or just do any of the big static trials moves as big as he can. He's got real nice style as well, because he rides a lot of BMX, and I think he's going to be potentially one of the next big things. So yes, stoked to have him as a teammate, even if he probably will show me up a little bit. I'm getting loads of comments and questions here, guys, so I won't be able to answer them all. I apologise. I will try to answer as many as I can. So thanks so much for joining in. Gonna go through a few here. When will I come to Devon? That's from Matthew Harris. Well, I'm not sure specific Devon. I've been to Devon a couple of times. It's an absolutely lovely place. Really like it down there. At the minute, my vehicle situation, it's not the most ideal for road tripping. I've had to give back the motorhome, which is a shame. But yeah, the MX-5, not the most reliable, being a 30-year-old car. I mean, it's been absolutely fine. I love that car, but with a bike, trying to stay in places far away, yeah, maybe not the most ideal vehicle. The other vehicle I have access to is actually Jane's mum's car, and yeah, again, it's just a car. I really want a van, so I think I said this on the last live stream that I'm going to sell the MX-5. I'm going to sell it. It's a shame. I really like that car, and I wanted it to be my forever car, but as much as I like that car, I like traveling more, and a van would make life a lot easier for that. So I'm going to sell the MX-5, get a van, and then maybe come down to Devon. That would be nice, plus other places. See what else you guys are saying. How do you say this? Panoply. Do I have a road bike, and if so, do I use it? I do have a road bike. I acquired a road bike last month from my dad, one that he doesn't use anymore. He's actually donated it to me. It's pretty sweet. It's a carbon bike, not super lightweight, but pretty light, pretty cool. Needs a little bit of TLC, but I'm actually going to use it mainly for indoor use, as I'm getting sent something pretty exciting for just health, fitness, training. This is potentially going to be a video series I'm going to be doing in the future, and I will let you guys know exactly what that's going to be if you haven't kind of worked out already. So yeah, I do have a road bike. I'm not necessarily that interested in taking it out on the roads, but more interested in using it as an indoor fitness training aid. It's not a turbo, kind of similar though. I'd say a little bit better than a turbo. Or do you mean for a turbo for the MX-5? That would also be really cool, but doesn't make it any more practical to go on road trips with. Maybe just get there a little bit faster. Len Baird, do I still ride with the drop and roll? Any shows coming up in the spring? Yes, I still, as far as I know, ride with drop and roll. Danny and Duncan and everyone actually moved up to Inverness, and I wasn't wanting to move, so that's probably why you don't see me riding with those guys quite as much. And also traveling abroad last year, I didn't do as many shows because traveling is difficult, very stressful. I kind of find traveling abroad fairly stressful at the best of times. I do get quite a lot of anxiety, and with the whole pandemic, having all these extra hurdles and stresses, I didn't want to travel to any of the drop and roll shows that we're doing abroad. But yeah, I'm still part of Drop and Roll. I'm still friends with Danny, Duncan, all those guys. It's just that they've moved away, so I don't get to see them quite so often. As for shows in the spring, I'm not aware of any just yet. Often there are some shows in the spring. Usually there's some in March, or at least one in March in Switzerland. It would be nice if traveling would be a little bit easier. And I'd like to get to that because it's always a good one. I've done it a few times and I always enjoy going to that one. So yeah, good question. Thank you very much. Raphael, how is my studio room project going? Yeah, well, I'm in what is my new office. It's not finished yet though. I've got my logo, got the lamps and stuff. It's all painted. I just don't have any storage. So actually off camera here is an absolute tip. It's so messy in here at the minute. The whole house is being done. So actually there's loads of stuff in here which isn't for the office. We're just storing in here until the rest of the house is done and we've got storage space there. So I'm not going to show you the room just yet. I'm going to wait until it's done and then I'll give you a tour, show you my desk, show you the artwork that's above my desk there, which is actually really cool. So hopefully mid next month, I'll give you a tour of the room. So yeah, it's going to be cool. See what other comments you guys are saying. SKR1PT, do I have any plans for building a new bike? Not my Street Trials bike. My Inspired Hex is actually really new, so no plans on changing that anytime soon. But I did mention earlier, if you just joined in, I've actually got five bike projects that the Cute Thief has dragged in for me. I'm still waiting on him to get me the last finishing touches, but yeah, 5 really cool bikes coming up. I'm actually so excited about them. Should be fun. Pablo's biking. Do I need a trials bike to trials? No, you don't. Trials is a state of mind. Maybe not. But trials riding can be done on any bike. Just look at Road Bike Party by Martin Ashton, Danny McCaskill, Chris Akrigg, Sam Pilgrim, all those guys. They're doing trials riding on road bikes. You can do trials riding on any bike. It's just that a trials bike will make life a little bit easier. I actually started riding trials on just a standard cross-country bike and I turned out fine. Maybe took me a little bit longer to learn stuff, but potentially it even helped my riding because I had to learn on a bike that was quite difficult to ride. So yeah, don't worry about having a trials bike if you don't have one. Just get out, ride, try some stuff, and yeah, I'm sure you'll have a fun time no matter what bike you're on. Gerbil, ever try trials on a fixed gear bike? No. I think that would be hard work and quite dangerous, and it's not for me. I'll let someone else try that one. Unless I run out of ideas, then I'll try it. But fixed gear, hard work, hard work. A few more questions here. Thanks again for joining in, everyone. Schwalp mountain bike. Do some enduro races for the channel for something different. Well, I've used to. I've entered and documented quite a few enduro races for this channel in the past. Last year, I think there were some enduro races, but I just never saw them advertised and actually missed them. This year, I'm really keen to enter some enduro races. I've got, well, as part of my 5 interesting bikes that the Cute Thief has brought me in parts, one of them potentially could be a new enduro style or class of bike. Maybe I should enter some races on that and see how I get on. It'd be a different category to what I normally ride, but it'd be quite interesting, I reckon. And go through your comments again. Old Man Gaming, congrats on the new house. Thank you very much. I am so stoked on this house, honestly. Not that I didn't like living with Danny Duncan in the centre of Glasgow, but I've always been quite like not a loner, that's a bit too harsh. But I'm more, Yeah, I like my own space. Let's put it that way. Not that I don't like people, but I like my own space, and sharing with 7 other guys, it was tough going at times. But I had a lot of fun with those guys. Don't get me wrong. But now to have my own house where I can have a room dedicated to video editing rather than having to cram a tiny little desk in my tiny little room and having bikes screwing across the hall and working on my bike on the kitchen table in the lounge, and to now having a garage is great. It's great. It's going to be so good once the house is finished. So thank you so much. Stoked on it. Really stoked. Go through these again. SKR1PT again. What got me into trials? Well, my brother got me, my older brother of 6 years, he got me into kind of mountain biking because he got a mountain bike, started getting mountain bike magazines. I started reading his mountain bike magazines and kind of just started going out on my bike, doing skids, wheelies, seeing who could get up the biggest pavement, seeing who could drop off the biggest wall. I mean, these walls probably about that high, something like that. Seeing who could ride cross country over some rocky terrain without putting a foot down. And we didn't know that trials even existed. We were just doing this for fun. And then eventually I got a magazine from my brother, and it had an article on one of the British Championship rounds, which was at Addingham Moorside, which was just maybe half an hour, 40 minutes away from where I used to live. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because these riders were doing what I was doing, and it kind of legitimized what I was doing as a proper sport. So I was hooked. I was like, yes, what I'm doing is a thing. People can make a living from it. I'm going to carry on doing it. So never stopped. And it's been really fun. 25 years later now, I think. Goodness me. Ross Luz, will I be coming to Bentonville, USA in June? I would love to. I really would love to. I've not had an invitation. Maybe if I get invited, I would struggle to turn that down. But again, it comes down to restrictions, how easy it is to travel, stuff like that. So hopefully by the middle of next year, we will be able to travel a lot easier. So yeah, it'll be awesome to come to that. It looks really cool. Last year's one looked really, really good. Gerbil, do I ever want to get into vroom vroom bikes? Yes, I used to have a Moto Trials bike just as a kind of mess about thing. I got it pretty cheap off a friend. It was only a 125, but where I used to live in West Yorkshire, I could just pretty much ride it from my house up onto the moors. I didn't need a van or anything like that. And then moving into Glasgow, living on a top floor flat, I couldn't really, carry a Moto Trials bike up 4 flights of stairs every time I wanted to use it. So haven't had a Moto Trials bike for the last decade or more, but definitely keen to get one, especially because Bob McGregor's Moto Trials place is a 20-minute drive away from here. And if I get a van, I can just stick it in the back of a van. So yes, I am most definitely keen to get a vroom vroom trials bike at some point. AJ, Chris Akrig did fixed gear trials. Kind of. He did fixed gear, just riding, trick riding, which I used to have a fixed gear bike, and yeah, Chris Akrig is a lot better than me because I tried some stuff and couldn't do anything on it. But I think what the comment was before, fixed gear trials is in on a trials bike with a fixed gear and a trials ratio as the fixed gear. I've not seen anyone do that before. I don't think there'll be any advantages, only disadvantages, and it'll be very, very hard to do. But you want me to do it, don't you? I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Is the drop and roll ever coming back to Belladrum by Cami Biz? You'd have to ask Duncan or Danny. Those guys do the organisation. I'm just a rider for drop and roll. I don't do any of the bookings or kind of behind the scenes stuff. So ask Danny and Duncan. It would be cool. I do enjoy going and doing shows at Belladrum, so it would be really cool if we could go and do some more shows there. I hope so. Marcus Langstrom, any hobbies? What do I do when I'm not writing, editing, or YouTubing? I actually quite like climbing and bouldering. just as a hobby. I don't take it too seriously. I don't go often enough to be really, really good at it, but I think being a cyclist and trials rider, I am better than the average, but yeah, not amazing at it. I'm lucky that I've got quite a few places here in Scotland and Glasgow that I can go fairly regularly, so I'm keen to go and make it a regular thing and get better. So yeah, I like bouldering. What else do I like to do? I like to noise Jane up. What else do I like to do? I'm quite into art, stuff like that. Not that I've done any for a while, but yeah, art design, graphic design, stuff like that I quite enjoy. But yeah, I need to get myself some more hobbies, I think. So I'm just going through some more comments here again. AJ, who is the best trials rider right now? Depends what you mean by trials rider. There's a few different categories, or at least two: competition trials and street trials. Who do I think is the best competition trials in the world? Well, he's got like 8 world championship titles, so Jack Carthy is probably, almost definitely, the best competition trials rider in the world, and has been for like the last 8 years. It's crazy. Charlie Rolls is up there as well. He may not have as many titles under his belt, but he's really nice to watch, even if he does ride a 20-inch bike, which I really don't like, but he is so nice to watch, he almost makes me want one. No, I won't get one. I don't like how they ride, but I like watching him ride. As for street trials riding, who is the best street trials rider out there? That is a difficult one. Obviously, Danny McCaskill, pioneer of the sport, and my eyelid got stuck closed then. Danny McCaskill, he has been the best. Is he still the best? Could well be. Even though I've rode and lived with him for like 8 years, sometimes you might get a bit blasé about how good someone is. And I think maybe that happened with me and Danny about, oh yeah, he's good. But then sometimes you go out riding with Danny, and even though I know how good it is, how he is, he would still surprise me and be like, whoa, okay. There's a reason why he has all these deals, sponsorships, and is renowned as being one of the best, because yeah, he is good, really good. Jean Langlois is up there as well. Maybe not as big with the trialsy stuff, but makes up for it with the BMX tech. He does stuff that no other rider is doing, so he's the best in that regard. Joachim in Sweden, I think doesn't necessarily have the kind of tricks like the foot jam whips and stuff like that, but for sheer power, size and style, he's up there with one of the best as well. And there's loads of other riders like Tomomi from Japan, really, really good to watch. Fabio, really, really good. Loads of French riders. There's people in the UK, Ewan Beeden, George Thompson, Jack Hurd, all these guys, really good. Still pretty young, so still loads of improving to do as well. So those guys really are worth keeping an eye out for. So yeah. Especially Ewan Beeden. Ewan Beeden is really, really good. And I'm not just saying that because you'll love me for that. Have I ever visited India? No, I haven't. It's one of those places that would be really, really cool to visit. It looks so different from the UK. It'd just be a proper experience, I reckon. Oh. Sorry, I'm going a bit quiet here because I'm just going through your comments. Guru Mandel, have I ever thrown my bike? Sadly, yeah. I think everyone has those moments where they're trying something and they think they should be able to do it, and then for whatever reason you can't do it, and you get angry. I think it happens to everyone. Some people do throw their bikes more than others. I have had my moments in the past, certainly. I think my parents have told me off at comps when they used to take me when I've had a bit of a temper tantrum, throw my bike, give me a bit of a bollocking for that. There's been times in the past where I used to throw my bike more than I throw my bike these days. To be fair, when I say I throw my bike, I don't pick my bike and chuck it. I know from experience that only ends up making you even more angry when something on your bike breaks. But there might be times when I just put my bike on the floor a little bit more aggressively than I normally would. So yeah, if you are throwing your bike, advise not to, but don't feel too bad thinking that you're alone with it, because yeah, people do throw their bikes. It's a bad habit, but yeah, people do it. Going back through the comments here. Schwalbe mountain bike, Tweed Love website for races in the Tweed Valley. Yeah, good shout. I want to enter at least the Scottish Enduro Series this year. And I think it's the kind of thing where you need to get entered now before the spaces all get filled, which is really annoying because winter's always when I'm strapped for cash the most. And I don't want to then spend all this money for stuff in the future. But yeah, maybe this weekend I'll have a look when the events are and get entered in them, because yeah, it'd be annoying if I miss them. And I do enjoy doing the enduros, even though I need to get my fitness up, which is where this road bike I mentioned previously is going to come in handy. Jacob Hemaker. I'm so bad with the foreign names. I'm classic English. Jane always has a go at me for not learning a language, because she's currently learning two, to make me feel bad. But the question is anyway, is it possible to do trials on a BMX with no brakes, foot jams, back hops, stuff like that? Yeah, make life easier if you put a trials gear ratio on it. But yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to do a bit of brakeless trials on a BMX. Foot jam whips, stuff like that, definitely possible on a brakeless BMX, no matter what setup you have. I actually find brakeless foot jam whips almost as easy as braked foot jam tail whips. So yeah, if you want to try trials on a brakeless BMX, go for it. Just potentially try a lighter gear ratio on that. Def Alt went to buy himself and daughter their first bikes at Christmas. Do I feel the cost of bikes has got out of hand? I don't know. I know people who run bike companies. I'm friends with Dave, who runs Inspired Bikes, and Adam, who owns Tarty Bikes Bike Shop. And I know how difficult it is to basically try and get bikes to price points. Take Inspired, for example. Everyone kind of says they're a bit on the expensive side, but they've got to pay themselves wages. The guy, Dave, who owns it, and employees. They've got to pay for material goods. They've got to pay for an office. They've got to pay for a warehouse. They've got to pay for shipping, prototyping, all this kind of stuff. It adds up. It's expensive to run a company, and they can't physically get bikes cheaper if they can't afford to keep the business afloat. And that's the same for a lot of companies, especially now that shipping costs have gone absolutely through the roof. I can't remember how much it is for a shipping container, but it's not just a shipping container, because then you've got to, when it comes into the country, you've got to pay for it to be stored while it gets sorted out. There's a backlog of shipping containers, or lorries or something like that. So your shipping container has to go to storage, and you've got to pay, I don't know, £1,000, £2,000 a week for that shipping container to be stored. So yeah, it's insanely expensive to run a bike company. And sadly, those costs go onto the consumer, because the company wouldn't be able to exist if they didn't. So do I think it's got out of control? Yeah, but it's not really much we can do about it. It's not a case of bike companies going and making so much money and, you know, ripping people off. Bikes have to be a certain price because of all the things I just mentioned, which is a shame, because I would love bikes to be cheaper. It's just not that easy, unfortunately. Devon on air. Isn't a foot jam whip a BMX trick? Anyway, yeah, it is. Totally right there. Fair point. Guri Mandal again, what is my first bike? Well, I did a video on this just the other day. If you go back through just a couple of months ago, there's a video titled, I think, this is my most important bike, something like that. And basically it's a detailed video on exactly what my first bike was, my first decent bike. So you may find that interesting. And it's actually really cool that I've still got that bike. Serge says, will I write an autobiography book? How would I title it? I've actually thought about this in the past. It sounds really big-headed to have thought, oh, what would I title my autobiography? Firstly, I don't think I ever will have an autobiography, but I would call it On the Rocks with Ali Clarkson. And the story behind that is back when I was riding in the early days, I really wanted to make a video because it was kind of the thing back then that this is like when the Trials Kings were around. And if you didn't know who the Trials Kings were, they were really, really good riders from the kind of Huddersfield area, and they would go out and make videos. And that's something I really wanted to do with my friends. But this is before kind of digital stuff. No one had camcorders, so no one had smartphones. But I had this kind of bucket list thing that myself and my friends would go out and make a video, and it would be called On the Rocks. And I even could imagine the artwork on the cover of this video was going to be like a martini glass with ice cubes in it, with trials riders riding on the ice cubes. So yeah, my autobiography would be a carry on from that, and it'd be called just On the Rocks. I think it's a smart title. I think it's a smart title, but yeah, let me know. Would that be a good title? Would you buy that? Would you read that? Let's see here. Devon on the air. Do I know any female trials riders? She went to the local trials park and was the only woman there. That's great that you're out riding trials. I personally don't know any female trials riders. I know a few mountain bikers, but not trials. It's a shame there aren't more. I certainly know there are a few who enter the World Championships and so on. There used to be, back when I competed in like the British Champs, there was a couple of female trials riders who entered back then, but these days trials has shrunk. There's actually fewer guys riding, and sadly that means fewer female riders as well. It does seem to be a very male dominated sport. I don't know whether that's because trials you benefit if you have a lot of upper body strength, which obviously is going to be handy for men who are usually stronger. But yeah, technique. There's no reason why women can't get strong and can't get amazing technique to make up for a potential lack of strength. So it would be really cool to see more female trials riders, but maybe you can be the kind of the icon for it. Make some videos, show people that trials isn't just for men. So that'd be really, really cool to see. Maybe I'd feature you on my channel. That's one thing I'd like to see one day. Ross Luz, the Trials Kings were bonkers. They were so ahead of the time, weren't they? I look back now, that was like 2001 onwards. Those guys were doing some seriously good riding back then, really ahead of their time. Right, how long are we on now? 38 minutes. I might cap this at like 50 minutes or something like that. I'm starving, I haven't had anything to eat yet. So we've got a few more minutes to go, because it's really easy just to drag on and have these live videos go on too long. Thomas Hardbattle, great name. It's from Derbyshire, the home of the Peak District. I love Derbyshire. There's some really, really cool riding there. So I'm from West Yorkshire, just north of there, and I used to love going to some of the events down in Derbyshire, in the Peak District. So yeah, I plan on visiting, I don't know where specifically, but I'm going to come down that neck of the woods sometime, or maybe multiple times this year. Def Alt, what happens when pro bike riders, or what happens to pro bike riders when they get past it career-wise? Do I have a retirement plan? I don't know what happens to a lot of riders. I was actually thinking this the other day. There's a BMXer who was one of my favourite BMXers, Jeff Slattery. And I see nothing of him these days, and I do wonder what he's up to. I should probably go follow him on Instagram or something. Oh, the cat's back. Hello. So yeah, a lot of people, I don't know whether they just go and get normal jobs, maybe jobs in the bike industry. I'm sure some people do have plans. I know Jason Phelan, a BMXer who lives up here, he kind of got to a point where he realized he had like almost like an epiphany where it's like, oh crap, I don't have any plan for when I stop riding. And he actually set about, it's actually really impressive. He set about to basically give himself a career after riding, and he has become a scuba diver. He does like welding. I'm not sure what he does, but he's basically got all these qualifications and now has a really well-paying job involved in scuba diving, and he's now currently learning to be a stuntman. So that's really, really cool to see. As for myself, do I have any plans? No, I don't. To be honest, I've never known what I've wanted to do, and I still don't know what I want to do. And I remember my mum saying that she didn't know what she wanted to do when she was older until she was 40. So I've got a couple of years to go yet. I'm hoping I can find something that I enjoy doing once I stop riding. The last thing I want is ending up in a job that I hate. So yeah, maybe I need to start having a think, because it will creep up on me. It will creep up and it will happen. So yeah, probably a smart thing to do. So what time is it? Mr. Kitty, you come and say hi for a little bit. Oh, there we go. Whoops. There we go. Mr. Kitty. Hold him here. Julian mountain bike. Which trick do I want to learn in 2022? The same trick I've wanted to learn for the last 10 years. I say every winter I'm going to learn a trick. And that's tail whips and bar spins. And then every winter comes and goes and I've never learned them. I'm so close to landing them, especially tail whips. So I just need to make the effort and just really put into practice. Hello. So yeah, it would be really sweet to land either one of those this year. Right, it's hard to hold him. Oops. Oh no, there he goes. He's a bit camera shy today. Right. Ashford, maybe I should start a trial school. Maybe. I think online stuff could be something I could do. Maybe trials stuff, tutorials, that kind of thing. How many people would join in? I don't know. But it's a thought. It's a thought, isn't it? Time to feed the cute little thief. He's actually just been fed. So he gets fed twice a day at 8 o'clock in the morning and 5 o'clock in the evening, because he's turned into actually quite a chunk. So he got fed at 5 o'clock just before this video, and yeah, he was hungry. He was very vocal. He's normally a very quiet cat. He doesn't meow, but yeah, when he gets hungry, he gets noisy. Devon on air, retraining at 40. Yeah, it's never too late. Yeah, it is never too late. I know people who have had career jobs that you wouldn't normally leave because it's a job for life. No, you can leave any job you want and retrain for anything. Obviously, it's going to be harder if you have a mortgage and kids who need regular income, but yeah, if you're determined enough, you can learn to do anything if you want to. So that is reassuring. No tail whip. If I don't land a tail whip, you're all going to unsubscribe. I hope not, because yeah, I don't know how likely it is I'm going to land a tail whip, but yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool. Jim Heerink, what do I think about edits from Fabio Wibmer? Oh, I don't know. I'm torn. I like edits, but I hate gimmicks. Fabio does some insane stuff in his videos, like the snow biking one where he's doing like the biggest double backflips and setting distance records, all this kind of stuff. The riding in that is amazing. It just had too many gimmicks in it for my liking, and I'm not the target audience. I know that. And being from Germany, Austria, they like a bit of cheese, don't they? So really, that kind of jokey cheesiness, gimmickiness goes down really well with his intended audience. Whereas myself personally, I think they could have cut out 5 minutes and just had a video of 5 minutes of just some of the best writing I've ever seen. And I would have preferred to watch that, but yeah, it's not for me. The video isn't for me. And I think the main gimmick I don't like is chase videos, where someone has to be somewhere in a hurry and then they start doing trials on the way to this thing they're late for. Trials isn't an efficient way to get to somewhere unless you're actually using it to create shortcuts. Going up onto a wall, doing a trick and then getting back off the wall is not a shortcut. Stopping to have a Red Bull and having a nap, not a shortcut. I know they're meant to be fun, but they're not for me. I don't do gimmicks. I don't. I couldn't make myself do that. What is Fabio's secret that he's so good? Proper training or lack of statch? I'm not sure what that means. I think Fabio has a few things that have helped him. Certainly he's had a lot of practice from a young age. He has a motocross background, which is actually really, really helpful for teaching great mountain bike skills, which is why one of the many reasons why he's so good on the downhill bike is because of his motocross background. I know he's also had a lot of support from family, and he's, I think, had almost like a plan, or his dad set it. This could be completely wrong. His dad's almost set up a plan from when he was fairly young to almost, attain this Red Bull sponsorship. They've always had this route that they've been taking to get to it. I could be wrong. And maybe Fabio, I don't want to take anything away from Fabio's work ethic or anything like that, because Fabio is a smart businessman who works seriously hard. I've got a lot of time for Fabio. But he has had a lot of support from what I think. And he's also talented just because he goes out and practices all the time. He's one of these kind of like Danny generations who've seen what's possible and gone out and replicated it. And I think for some of the older people like myself who started before the internet was really a thing, it was a slower process. So we didn't know what's possible. So you're always going to get riders who are going to get better than the last person. That's just natural. And Fabio's just a classic case of that. He's seen what's possible, wants to attain it, put the work in to attain it, and the result is he's really, really good. And he's also good at putting in the work to the videos. He knows what makes a successful video, gimmicks, and makes it happen. So yeah, I think there's a few reasons. He's not scared either. He's got the youthfulness. He's not scared to send it. I'm very jealous of his sending ability. So I've gone quite here. I'm just going through a few of these comments because I'm trying to pick some good ones for the end here. See, Devon on air again. You like Fabio's the stories behind videos, and yeah, I can see that. I think that does help make a successful video, is the storytelling. It's just not for me. I've grown up with like BMX edits where the edit exists because the riding is good and doesn't need any other reason to exist. And I think that's just kind of rubbed off on me, and that's now my mindset that to me, if the writing's good, it doesn't need a story to enhance it. That's just the way I am, and I know that's not necessarily the way other people think. There's always going to be place for all the different styles of videos. If it's got a story, if it's got a gimmick, if it doesn't, it's all good. So yeah, I just prefer without the gimmicks. That's just me. Okay, so we've got 1 minute left. Okay. Guitaroid Man. What guitar is that? It's like the cheapest guitar I could find online. It was like £25 or something like that, new. It's awful. If you're into guitars, you'd hate it. You'd really hate it. But for me, just to see if I kind of liked guitar playing, and maybe if it's something I want to take seriously, £25, it's fine, it's fine. So one last question, guys. I'm going to go through here, see what you are saying. I'm not going to answer the question about tri-light carbon bikes because they're a rival and I can't talk about... I'm allowed to talk about rivals. They seem okay. I think Inspired's are better. I would say that though, wouldn't I? Right, one last question because that doesn't count. Let's see what I've got here. There's got to be a good one in here somewhere. Okay, this is quite an interesting question. I'm not going to say the name, I apologise, because I will absolutely murder that and embarrass myself. But the question is, when is that moment when you've stopped to learn new stuff because of age? I don't know. I don't necessarily think you'll stop learning. I think no matter kind of what your age, you can adapt to riding to learn something else. So for example, I stopped riding competition trials and started riding streets. Not necessarily because of my age, although age may be a part of it, because I got a bit bored of competition trials. So I started riding street trials, and that was a new learning process. And even now I'm kind of going away from a certain type of street trials. I'm not really interested in foot jam tail whips or kind of the usual street trials things that you'd normally see. I'm more interested in kind of making my riding unpredictable, and that in itself is making me learn new ways of riding, because I'm going to be 38 in a month, and yeah, I'm not going to be able to go big forever, I know that. So rather than try and keep my riding as big or bigger throughout my aging process, I kind of just want to go down a different road and learn new things, or not necessarily always learn new things, but take the things I can do to a smaller height and just perfect them. Get rid of any hops, work on my style, and go down that road instead. So if my age holds me back from going as big, I can work on other stuff instead. So that's kind of my plan as I get older. Because yeah, it's going to happen. It is happening. Let's see here. Do not look 38. Well, thank you very much. I think I look pretty good for being 38 as well. I think a lot of people get surprised when they find out I'm in my late 30s. But yeah, right, everyone, gonna call it there. Thanks so much for joining in. I do enjoy these live chats, but I do enjoy making videos as well, and there will be some proper videos this year. It's just been a little bit tricky with the house renovations going on. Next week is going to be a really interesting video. I'm not going to spoil it at all. You won't be able to predict what it is, although people have asked for it in the past. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But other than that, yeah, have an amazing week, everyone. So this is going to be goodbye from me. Goodbye from the cute thief. And yeah, have an amazing week. You look so grumpy. Have an amazing week, everyone. I'll catch you next time. Yeah, take care. Bye. Bye.